Hey guys, so it's day 5. I told you that I would do a day 4 and 5 kind of summary recap today. Last night I went home and washed clothes and did all that kind of crazy stuff. So today I'm back at the cabin and just kind of wanted to give you guys a why I'm doing this kind of thing. Because I know some of you wonder sometimes what I'm up to and why I am doing the things I'm doing. So this is just kind of, I have to have some notes because I can't remember like everything of why, the kind of the history of it. So why am I biohacking my own fitness and eating? Well, it started really about 15 years ago. Like, if we want to go way back to the history of the whole thing. So at the time I was like training for marathons and stuff, and I was eating a primarily plant-based diet for the most part, and I was struggling mightily with weight and exhaustion and stuff. And so I went to the doctor. I was dealing with perimenopause. I had a lot of heavy bleeding. I was just really just feeling awful. And so I went in and I'm like, hey, can you like help me? Because I can't figure this thing out. And essentially what she told me, at the time I was eating 12 to 1500 calories a day, maybe. And I was tracking it back then. I try to like push that aside because it was horrible. But I was tracking it. I was working out 2+ hours a day between running and training and teaching yoga and whatever else I was doing. So essentially at this time, I think I weighed really close to what I weigh right now. 175, 180, somewhere in there. And essentially what the doctor told me was to eat less and work out more. Yeah, that was not gonna work. I was exhausted. I was hungry, call it hangry, most of the time, and my body just ached like all the time because I was like working out fanatically trying to get this thing figured out. And so I did some kind of finagling with my diet. I ate vegetarian for about 7 years, and then I did a little stint of vegan. Then I started asking, yeah, I know, you are right, Terry. So I had also tried some other diets. I'd done some elimination stuff, all of that kind of thing. So fast forward to 2015. All right, so about not quite 6 years ago. Well, 5 years ago, actually. No, this would have been 6 years ago. I gained a bunch of weight. I was probably, I want to say maybe 220, 230 at the time. That was probably my high point. I was still running. I was still teaching yoga. We had lost a grandson. Most of you know that, those of you that are listening right now, on New Year's Eve of 2014. And how I handled that was a lot of alcohol. So I was drinking at least a full bottle, sometimes 2 bottles of wine a day during that time, still running. Still working out. We were running a restaurant at the time, busy, had a full-time job on top of it. So it was crazy. I had a crazy life going on. So in November of 15, I got back from Savannah, Georgia. I'd been in Savannah. We did the Savannah Rock and Roll Half Marathon, me and a bunch of friends. And I got back and I got sicker than I have ever literally been in my entire life. Like, I was pretty sure I was going to die. Fever of about 104, chills. I had zero energy, like literally could not get off the couch, alternating sweating and freezing. And Steve finally said, are we going to go to the doctor? When are we going? We're going today. And so I finally relented. I had a lowered immune system at that point from being in multiple airports, drinking, just a crappy diet just because I was like so grief. I was dealing with grief. I was dealing with sadness. I was dealing with just a lot of stuff. And so all of that kind of compounded into just this really horrible lowered immune system, that I also remembered that I had had a tick bite, maybe two. sometime over that summer, because we live out in the country. And I didn't really think much of it. You know, you pull the tick off and you go on with your day. So anyway, I did some research, and by the time we got to the ER that day, I was pretty sure that I had Lyme or some other tick-borne illness. So I had to force them to test me for Lyme, which once they finally did, they're like, oh yeah, you have Lyme. They wanted to do a bunch of other stuff. And so they finally did the Lyme test and said, yes, that's what it is. And so I got a 28-day cycle of doxycycline. At the same time, I decided to go do some research of my own to try to figure out what the heck was going on with my body. So over the 28 days that I was taking doxycycline, I also did a complete diet overhaul. I did a diet overhaul. I quit drinking. I eliminated, what did I do during that time? So I removed gluten and grains for sure. All refined carbohydrates were gone, like gone. And I started following more like a paleo type diet and started feeling much better. So by the time I went back for my 28-day follow-up after I'd gotten done with the round of doxy, my blood work was like awesome. I cleared out the Lyme with the 28 days. I had done some diet hacks with alternating probiotics and antibiotics and things like that, along with the lifestyle changes. And she said, well, what did you do other than taking the doxy? So I told her, and she kind of shrugged and said, well, keep doing what you're doing. And so I did. And then I started moving slowly toward a ketogenic diet. It took me a little while because it can feel like a really big, uncomfortable shift. So I moved slowly toward that keto diet. I started eliminating more carbohydrates, like eliminated sweet potatoes and more of the starchy, like vegetables, so no corn, stuff like that. And started building up my percent of good fats. So good fats, quality proteins, and carbs from leafy green vegetables is essentially where I ended up. So I was feeling like crazy good within the last couple of years. My inflammation was gone, my headaches were gone, my gut issues were gone. I haven't taken an Excedrin or anything for headaches or body aches in probably 3 or 4 years now. So every now and again, I do something stupid, right? We all do, and I fall off track. And I realize at that point, when I fall off track, how crappy I felt before I figured this stuff out. And so I'm not saying that the ketogenic diet is a solution for everyone. What I'm saying is you need to intuitively biohack your own diet and fitness to find out what it is that works for you. So Steve's noticed a huge difference too. He had blood pressure problems. He had he was struggling with some high blood pressure stuff. He was lacking energy. And he's noticed too, as long as he only eats what I feed him, that he is doing much better. So come to now, and I gained like 9 pounds during the pandemic. Even I ran 1,300 miles in 2020. I've been doing yoga. Anxiety and stress can have a big, profound effect on your weight. So I'm like not freaking out about this 9 pounds. I am not doing what I'm doing to lose weight. I am doing what I'm doing to be healthy. And there's a huge difference in those two things. So anyway, the keto folks that I follow have started talking about going almost carnivore. And so I thought, and I follow medical doctors, I follow traditionally trained dietitians who have gone kind of out on their own and done some other research. And they started talking about leaning more toward this carnivore diet. And I thought, wow, as good as I feel on keto, I bet I might feel even better if I streamlined even more. And I thought, let's just try it for a month, right? And I've done this over the years many, many times, just tried stuff for a month. So essentially, where we're at for this December challenge is grass-fed beef. We just got a quarter cow from from one of our neighbors, wild-caught seafood, wild-caught only seafood, organic chicken, local pork, which we had gotten some local pork probably maybe 6 months ago that we had processed, so we've got a freezer full of that. Spices, lots of spices. and strategically eating veggies. So you'll notice, like last night, I had a really big like romaine lettuce salad with taco meat and avocado on top of it. And that's really like what my diet consists of. And I don't get bored. You know, I mean, I don't get bored. One of the things that I've noticed a lot once I've kind of transitioned keto and now to carnivore is that I never hardly feel hungry. I eat once or twice a day usually, and I feel great. So I can go run a half marathon now, and I've done this like for the last few years. I can go run a half marathon fasted, get up the next morning, and feel like $1,000,000. Like I've actually done a couple of them where I have done one on a Sunday and then followed up the next Saturday and done another one. So 5 days in, I actually started a few days before Thanksgiving, but I didn't decide to do this as my December challenge until I posted it in my group. So what I'm doing for fitness then is I run, walk, whatever my body is asking for that day. So like today I walked, but I walked up our hill out of the valley and got in 25 flights of steps, my Garmin said, on the way up, and then came back down, so about a mile, and then I did some yoga and some mobility work when I got back. So yoga, run, walk, yoga, and some body weight strength. Those are the things in the wintertime that seem to feel good to me. So I do fitness from an intuitive perspective, and I've gotten to where I'm eating from in an intuitive way. So I just kind of wanted to bring you guys up to speed on the why I'm doing what I'm doing. I have a bunch of resources that I'm going to try to share with you guys over the next few weeks. So Maria Emmerich and Craig Emmerich are two of the people that I follow like closely. Actually, Maria is one of the people that got me started working on the ketogenic diet. I have her new cookbook, the Carnivore Cookbook, and then she also has a grain-free, low-carb, reinvented slow cooker one, and I do a lot of stuff in my crock pot. And then I've been reading the Carnivore Code that's written by a medical doctor. His name is Paul Saladino, and he also has a website. He wrote another book called The Keto Reset Diet, and he also has a website called thecarnivoremd.com, and he talks a lot, too, about the ketogenic diet for heart health, so for heart health, so kind of, I do too, Maria. Yeah, so I actually met Maria. She came to the yoga studio when I had it in Wabasha for a book signing. It was amazing. She's wonderful. Paul, this Dr. Saladino, he has a blog, and then he also has a podcast, and he talks to people about just various people about different health related situations and issues surrounding the carnivore and the keto diet. So the other doctor that I follow is Dr. Ken Berry. He's a YouTube doctor, but he's also a medical doctor, and he essentially biohacked his own health with this diet. He said he was an overweight physician, and he felt, like he was doing his patients a disservice by having them come in, and he wasn't taking care of himself. So he now has some really, really interesting stuff on YouTube. So anyway, I just wanted to share all that with you guys. I appreciate all you guys watching, and this will be recorded for later. I'm also going to upload it to YouTube, so it'll be there. So Steve and I are trying a really fun thing tonight. We're going to make homemade Spam, because Spam is one of our favorite things. We love it. But the canned stuff that you buy is not made with quality ingredients, obviously. So we are going to buy, we have our own grass-fed and organic stuff that we're going to use for meat. So that's kind of the story. So yeah, Terry, I have a pretty good scientific background. I read a lot of the scientific peer-reviewed journal articles, so that I'm sure that what I am doing is working. And I'm keeping the veggies in, I mean, I love salad, so salad ain't going nowhere here. I'm actually growing tomatoes at the cabin. as a matter of fact. So, all right. Well, you guys all have a really nice rest of your day and weekend. And like I said, this will be uploaded to YouTube later. It'll be here on Facebook for you guys to watch again. And I will post pictures of our fiasco trying to make homemade Spam later. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.